Hi everybody, welcome to the LEGO Studio. My name is Robbie. Today is Sunday, May 17th, yes. It's almost noon here on the Pacific coast of the United States, and this is sort of a channel update, also another test. I've been doing a lot of tests to assess my new setup because I want to be able to do some filming with myself in front of the camera and then take you into the LEGO Studio just over there. So what we've been doing is gauging how far I should be away from the camera, how far I should be away from the wall, what kind of lighting is looking good. I've ordered some soft boxes, so we'll have a little bit more professional lighting. Audio is still probably going to be a problem, mostly because I'm using my phone as a camera, and the connection for the charger on my phone isn't very tight anymore, so I just use a wireless charger because it won't charge any other way. I digress. So this channel is getting a little bit of a facelift, and like I said, I've been doing tests to ensure that this facelift doesn't look like it's been botched by some sort of hack. So what we've been doing lately is I did a little live build last night of these flowers set for 0187. Still available at Shop at Home site. You know, small little build, nothing fancy in terms of building techniques, but it's nice to have a little set like this, $5 or $6, that you can add on to your cart if you're trying to reach one of those thresholds for a gift with purchase. So it's good little value there. This morning I built this little battle pack just again to kind of test out how I like this setup, if it's going to work. It's doing okay so far. This is 75197. First Order Specialist Battle Pack. I did buy 2 of these. I only put together this one this morning while I was watching another YouTuber's live stream. It was Brixie, and he was building the Stormtrooper helmet, so I thought I would play around with some LEGO Star Wars as well. And this set is okay. I mean, battle packs are mostly for the minifigures. The side build is never very good, although I think this is probably my favorite, just because it's relatively simple in its design, like its function. You want it to spin this way, you want it to pivot this way, so you can shoot your enemies, or a little friendly fire. So, yeah, I actually think I like this side build better than most. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Things planned for today, not a whole lot going on. I am still cleaning up around here. There's a lot of LEGO boxes and plastic bags and Amazon boxes that things came in. So, you know, there's always that stuff that builds up that you gotta deal with from time to time. I guess one of the things that is right here in front of the table, so we might as well talk about it, is I've been sorting and organizing my parts, and I've come across remnants. It wasn't all in this one big piece, but remnants of the soccer field. I've been thinking, do I want to integrate this into the LEGO City? If I did, how would I do that? So I don't know if anyone else has done that, specifically where you have accessibility to still kind of play with it. So if it's right in the middle of the city, how are you going to reach across and finger all these little guys? So I don't know, it's nostalgic, I like it. It actually plays pretty well. I don't know if anyone's played it in a while, but it takes a little soft touch, but you can definitely direct the soccer ball from player to player. So the question would be, if you were to put it in the LEGO City, how would you have 2 people reach it? Or would it just sort of sit in like a stadium, kind of like a modular building a level of that. Maybe it's just sitting within a stadium and then it's on plates, so you can just pull it out and set it over on a table and then play with it and put it back. So there's a few options there that I've been pondering. Just because it's always just sitting around here and I don't want to break it down so I don't lose the pieces again. But it is eye-catching. There's this big slab of green hanging around. So yeah, I'm always thinking ahead of what I can be doing in the Lego City 10 steps ahead. I mean, we don't even have custom tables yet, which I plan on doing. So, yeah, a lot gestating in my mind. I guess one last thing here on the table that I just brought out the other day to see how it looked on camera. And now the more that I look at it, the more I do kind of want to build it. It's the 75946 Harry Potter set from last year. The first challenge, the Hungarian Horntail Tri-Wizard Challenge. It's got good minifigures. The dragon looks fine. The little tent looks okay. was never super excited to build this one. I did just pick it up at Target when it was on sale because I am intent on collecting all the minifigures from the newer installment of Harry Potter sets, since I missed out on them last time except for like the first 2 years, which was back in 2000, 2001, or 1999, when all the figures were still yellow-faced. So I have all the sets from Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, and Chamber of Secrets. So I would like to not miss out on this opportunity now that LEGO has revived this line. And much better too, obviously. As time has gone on, better pieces, better printing, whatnot. So yeah, I've collected all the new sets. Looking forward to the new sets coming out. Hopefully we'll be building some of them right here. There will be a separate Harry Potter display at some point here in the LEGO studio. Right now, since we're just talking here, and probably no one's watching anyway, we can just quickly go over what is existing in terms of layouts and setups and displays, and what I want to have in the future. So I have right now the main LEGO City, modular buildings, Ninjago City, old fishing store, things like that, classic stuff. And then separate from that, against the back wall over there, I've got the amusement park. And I've got them separated because mostly the scale, and I believe Mr. Bookyboo said it best, is that the scale of the amusement park sets, the fairground collection, just doesn't match modular buildings in the city unless you modify your modular buildings. They're just way too big. So they sort of dwarf the city if they're right together. So I have them on two separate tables. That's how I'd like to keep them. Also, having it all kind of in one line up against the wall, it's easier to see everything at once, not competing to fill up this huge fairground space with paths to everywhere. So, yes. Currently, the two main setups I have are the city and the amusement park. And beyond that, there's a few more I'd like to set up on the lower levels of the tables. Now, these tables aren't built yet. I'm going to build some custom tables. And if you watch Jang Brick's channel, you know, he's got his main city, and then he's got sort of other themed displays underneath the city. I think that's a great use of space. Plan on doing the same thing. Not all the same themes, but generally that idea of what is normally wasted space under the tables, or space you would use to store Lego, have more displays. And the reason for that is few things. I mean, I've got all these sets and themes that have nowhere to go and not really enough room to put them on shelves just because they're so big. But if I had a little bit of a deeper space and a little wider, I could do things like a Western display, which I plan on doing, with a little train setup, because you really don't need a whole lot of depth for a train loop, basically 3 base plates. So if I had a few display areas underneath my main table about the size of this here, I could do a lot with it. So a Western theme display is on my mind, a pirates, classic pirates, and a classic castle, and then an underwater display, which pretty much everyone does, directly underneath the water portion of their city. Not going to be really any different. It works, it looks good, makes sense. One of the things I do want to have that's a little different from everyone else is secret portals from one display to another. And that would be for the minifigures when they come alive at night, like I like to pretend that they do, they would have access to the different areas. So, for example, in the Lego City, we'll have a little bit of a mountain terrain, and there's going to be a little old abandoned gold mine entrance. And if you go in that, you'll be able to drop down through that table and into the gold mine of the Old West display. So things like that. I think there'll be a little cave in the underwater display that maybe minifigure would sort of dive through and then pop up, and now they're in the castle display. So, I don't know, just fun little things like that to connect everything. A little bit like the Lego movie, the first one. So we've got those displays that I'd like to keep permanently underneath the main table. And then the other two that I think about a lot, which might be a seasonal display, space is limited relatively, is a winter village that I set up kind of during the 4th quarter of every year. And then maybe a Harry Potter display that I set up for this summer. Just because, again, I don't have the room, I think, to have all of those displays all the time, every day. But it would be nice to showcase some of those sets and minifigures in a way more significant than just on a shelf. So I've got lots of big ideas, which is great. It'll take a while to implement them all, which is fine. It takes a while to grow a YouTube channel. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, anything worth doing takes time. So those are my thoughts and ideas. It's a general sort of channel update for you, in case you were wondering, this guy's done a few okay or cool things, is he ever coming back? The answer is yes. Yes. I guess one of the other things I should mention is that a reason progress has been so slow in here is this isn't like my house. This is a building on my property in the mountains that was basically set up as an art studio that didn't have anything of super value in it already. It doesn't, it's wired for electricity, but there's not electricity to this building. So I haven't had lights or heat all winter in here. And that's a whole separate discussion whether or not the cold is bad for Lego. I'm not going to get into that right now. It is what it is. But because of that, there was no heat and there's no light. Well, it was pretty miserable to be in here during the winter. That's going to change. I am going to get power to this building and electrify it. But currently it still doesn't have that. So, when the sun was setting at 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., not really much Lego work gets done in the dark. And also when I have to put on layers and layers of clothing and gloves to go into the Lego studio. Can't really do too much work with Lego and gloves. So that's the status of the channel in terms of its slow progress thus far. I've got big ideas, summer's coming, things are happening. This video is proof. So I hope you come back and you check things out as they evolve. It's only going to get better from here, but that's because the bar was so low. It's not a huge bar to clear, but things are going to get better. Hope to get some feedback from the few of you who do watch this, and we'll continue to make progress in the Lego Studio. Yeah, so thanks for checking this out. It is appreciated. I will catch you sooner than later in the next installment. So I will click you out, and I will see you next time.